Have you ever gone through photos of you in the past and thought, I actually didn't look that bad? I know I have. Maybe you're the type of person who always thinks that you look good, or maybe you don't have issues with your appearance and you feel confident in how you look. But I know that I have always felt self-conscious in the way that I've looked. As a little disclaimer, I was quite nasally in this video. I had a stuffy nose, but still wanted to get the video out, so apologies, but here it is. In my latter years, more recently, I've got better, but I know that being 5'10", so quite tall for a female and quite a large build, I have always struggled when it comes to my appearance. And earlier today I was looking at my pictures of myself 2 years ago, and I actually looked at myself and I thought, I didn't look bad actually. I didn't look too bad there. And what it made me think about is how sometimes in the moment we don't realise what we have. So looking back then, I just know that I didn't feel myself, I didn't feel good in myself at that time. I know that I was going through a few challenges and my outlook on life was very dark. And if you were to ask me back then how I felt about myself, I would have probably said, in terms of my appearance, I would probably say something like 4 out of 10. But today I looked back and I looked like an 8, I would say. I wouldn't say a 10, but I looked alright. And it just made me see how important perspective is. I think looking back, there's an interesting thing that happens where when you look back at photos and videos of yourself, you can almost see yourself from somebody else's perspective. But in the moment, you don't see what you have. And I think the same goes for our abilities and our position in life. Sometimes when you look back at where you were a few years ago, say 5-10 years ago, sometimes depending on how you felt in that moment, if it was positive, hopefully you're still in a good place and you can say, yeah, I agree that things were quite good at that time. And then other times we can look back and if they're negative, you realise that that negativity was temporary, if you understand what I mean. Because all challenges have their seasons. All challenges come and go, and it's how do we react in that challenge that determines how we perceive our quality of life. And I think too many times through challenges, obviously I'm speaking from my perspective, but I know that in the past when I've gone through challenges, it's like it's swallowed up my whole outlook of everything. So I'm having a problem in this area and it's affected all of my other areas because I'm so focused on the challenge. Whereas now I'm learning that when I go through things, I need to still appreciate the life that I'm living and appreciate the moments that I'm in. Because the interesting thing is, when I looked at those photos and I was feeling depressed, I was actually in one of the most beautiful places in the world, in my opinion, which is Jamaica. I was there for 6 weeks, and at the time it felt like there were some problems that we were facing, well, at home, that was affecting how I felt in Jamaica. And also there was a few family issues, and like I just remember not being able to enjoy myself. I literally enjoyed probably 1 week of that whole 6-week period, and the reason why I couldn't enjoy it was because I could only focus on the problems. Whereas I'm learning that no matter what we go through, we need to challenge ourselves. We need to make sure that we also enjoy the good and appreciate the good, because there's good and bad happening all the time. I don't think there's anyone who's living a perfect life. There's no one that's problem free, because even in the Bible it says in this life we will face many problems. There will be many problems that we have to overcome, and that's there for a reason. I think it's part of, you know, the curse of sin. The Most High cursed the ground and made it difficult, made work difficult. I think that's why we face difficulties no matter what. Have you noticed actually that no matter what line of work you're in, even when it's enjoyable, it can still be challenging? And I think that's part of the spiritual position that we're in. We have to go through challenges, and it's not a choice, it's not negotiable. But we can also appreciate the goodness, because amidst the challenges and hardships and work and bills and sickness and all these things that happen to us, there's always the sun that comes out in the morning. There's always birds singing somewhere. There's always greenery. I went for a walk recently, and I think it was Sunday actually. Today is Tuesday where I am. Well, everywhere it's Tuesday, but today is Tuesday that I'm recording this, and the sun, not the sun, being out in nature was just beautiful. Like, I remember having, even on Sunday there was a few challenges. I have young children, and my 2-year-old is going through his terrible twos, so that is a challenge at the moment for me. But also just life is happening, and I just felt like I didn't want to go anywhere on Sunday. I was like, you know, those moments where you just want to just kind of wallow in your problems, like it's gonna help. It doesn't help. Wallowing doesn't help. Worrying doesn't help. I also knew that, so I'm glad that I did go out, because maybe a few years ago I'd be like, nah, I'm not going nowhere. But I've learned that when you feel resistant and when things feel difficult, that's exactly the times when you need to be out in nature. You need to enjoy your surroundings. You need to find something to take you out of that mindset and bring you into the present moment. And so we did that, and we went for a lovely walk. And despite me internally feeling I didn't want to go, I went, and it's kind of like being out in nature just released all my problems for that moment. And yeah, so that's one of the things that I've been learning to do, go out when I'm not feeling great, because I think the enemy wants us consumed with challenges. I think having all this technology, having all these things that we accumulate can sometimes work against us. We can get too comfortable, caught up in things that really don't matter, and just enjoying life and making a point to really live and enjoy the moment, enjoy your food if you can, enjoy your surroundings. That's what helps you to feel like you're truly living. So yeah, this is a bit of a random one. But yeah, seeing those pictures today just made me think, well, why couldn't I see myself for who I was back then? Like, why couldn't I see the beauty in me then like I can see it now? And even looking at myself now, I don't feel like I don't know what I'd rate myself today, but I know that if I look back in 2, 3, 5 years time, I'll probably think I wasn't too bad back then. But yeah, we need to learn to appreciate ourselves and learn to appreciate the moments that we're in, and learn to appreciate life no matter how it feels, because there's always the rough and the smooth happening simultaneously. And it's how do we focus on the smooth, how do we focus on the good? I think that's what really helps us to really live and be content in the moment. So I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know if you've got any thoughts of what I just said, and feel free to subscribe. My name is Mawuena Rankine, and this channel is all about wholesome living. And let me know what you think about the video.